Okay, so I am here with Miss Shavonne Bowman, the owner of For the People to Be Fit, the brand that focuses on helping the community to be fit emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, and a whole host of other things. When I first met you, you were and are the epitome of every element of that brand because you showed up with such a presence. It was at a nonprofit organization event that we were throwing. You came in. I thought that you were one of the team members because you were like, how can I help? And you were there to actually just network with everyone else. So I'm so grateful for you being here. You are a light and welcome.
Thank you so much, Donnie. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for having me here. You two are a light as well. So I'm just excited to see how this show goes.
Awesome. Well, look, we're going to just kick back. We're going to have some fun. Yes, we are professionals, but we're so much more than that. When we first talked, you talked about being a mother and how that experience was for you. You talked about finance. You talked about your experience in real estate. Like you covered the gambit and so much more. So we're going to bring all of those wonderful elements out here and just relax. And so, but also educate the people. And so I want to ask, why do you think it's important for people to pay attention to this conversation?
Okay, so it's important because of my own personal story. My family was not raised with a silver spoon in their mouth. My grandmother's, one, health-wise, passed away of a lot of complications. And if there's anything that I can pull back into myself, as well as my community and my family, is the importance of taking care of your body and staying healthy. I had a grandmother who passed of Alzheimer's. I had a grandmother who passed of a lot of other health complications, sugar diabetes. My mother is a survivor of breast cancer. So I focus on health first because without it, you can't enjoy anything that you do. You can't enjoy money. You can't enjoy time freedom. You can't enjoy anything. So that's first. The second reason is wealth. Both of my grandmothers passed. They were uneducated when it comes to the space of how to make money grow, how to make a compound, how to diversify, and how to move it forward. What they understood was how to go to work every single day, grind for their family, and provide a roof over their head. But when it was time for them to be buried, it was people trying to figure out how the money was going to come up. And I was just done with that, right? We don't have to continue a cycle such as that. I want to make sure that going forward, is anyone in anybody's family could make the change. For me and my family, it's me. I want to make the change for my children, my children's children, and even for my nieces and nephews and my cousins as well. So for me, it's all about just making sure that people understand the importance of how to make money move and how to make money grow. It's not about everything that we make and we just spend and put in a bank account. We got to become more educated when it comes to that. So that's why it's important for people to pay attention to this segment, because your wellness and your wealth matters.
So I want to touch on those two things because, number one, I've had too many conversations with people in our community who don't know the first thing about estate planning. And when their family members die, their grandmothers, their parents, like you said, they're in probate, they go through all these other issues and they don't have anything to show for all of the hard work that they put in while they were alive, especially for it being passed down to their family members. So I want to ask, what drew you to the health route first? Because sometimes people feel like, oh, that there must have been some kind of major issue with her that caused her to go down that route. What drew, outside of your parents and seeing that, like what for you drew you to that route of health?
Well, honestly, it's always through vision, right? We hear about it. Like growing up, truth be told, I was a cheeseburger and French fry eater lover. You couldn't get me to sit down and eat nobody's Thanksgiving. Don't put no vegetables in front of my face. Don't do any of that. I was that person, right? And for a very long time, it wasn't until I met my husband and we were in college, I was the cheapest date he's ever had. Only thing I wanted was McDonald's, a steak and cheese, or something of that nature. And he was like, you need, and he said it with like a little, he was like, you need to change your palate. And I prayed. God help me change my palate because and I was small frame. So I was very active. So the food wasn't catching up with me yet. Right. So it wasn't like, oh, I have to stop eating it, but I knew that it wasn't good for me. But eventually I prayed about it, and me praying about it, I changed my palate. So changing my palate opened me up to an opportunity to want to do better. But fast forward, the reason why I am so big on health is because what I saw. And what I saw was my mother go go through cancer. And when my mother went through cancer, I'm in the doctor's office. I'm asking, I'm probing so many different questions. So for me, it wasn't like me personally that I had to change because I wasn't, in my eyes, unhealthy, but I was doing all the unhealthy things. And
Mm.
I understood from going to her doctor visits that the foods that we eat, the things that we put on our skin, the environment that we are in, these are all cancer causing agents that we are doing to our body. So that was my wake up call. My wake up call was my mother. It was a painful sight to see. And if I can prevent myself, if I have the choice to shop somewhere where I don't have to buy chemicals and toxins, and I have the choice to eat better, then I'm going to start doing that just because it's important for me to want to live a long lasting life. Like at the end of the day, I don't know what time of day I'm leaving, but if I have to leave, at least I chose to make good choices along the way.
Yeah. And so what I heard there, honestly, is relationships played a really big part in your decision to live a healthier life. You talked about your number one, you seeing your mom
Mhm.
and the health complications that came from uh, her diet and other things that were cancer causing. And I often, feel like there are a few types of people. You see a type of behavior, either you think that that's a behavior you should actually participate in because that's what you've known, or you see that behavior and you say, no, I want to make a change because there's a better way for me. And then you have those people sometimes that are agents of change in your life, like your husband, who say,
Mhm.
hey, you might want to explore this a little bit more. So what what role would you say relationships played in positively and negatively in your journey of health? Because as we know, it's a journey. You don't just wake up one day and
That's so funny you asked me that because I speak to people about that. Relationships are very important because if you're in a household and you all are not seeing eye to eye and your health is on the fence, right? And you have someone over here knowing they should not be eating steak and cheese, french fries, cheesecakes, and things of that nature. And you have another person over here that if they eat it, it's not going to bother them. But if this person over here eats it, it's going to affect their life potentially, may take them out. So if you all don't partner together, if relationships are not built with the same understanding of you all trying to go in the same direction, then it's going to hurt somebody. So it's very important for you all to be on the same page. And that's mother and children, father and children, mother and wife, father and wife. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you all have to see eye to eye somewhere, right? Y'all can't be on two different roadmaps. Like I always say, my husband was not a gym rat. I became a gym rat.
Mhm.
But my husband enjoyed working out. So there has to be some point where you all are seeing some things eye to eye when y'all are enjoying it. Then you can't have the husband at home sitting on the couch, gaining all the weight, eating all the bonbons while the wife in the gym doing everything. Because
Yeah.
eventually what happens in relationships is what brought you all together is not going to keep you all together, no matter how you look at it. Because it's unfortunate. Love is love, right? But a lot of people are attracted by the eye. So if you're getting unhealthy, it's going to start causing strain on the relationship, bickering. Like you just have to see eye to eye when it comes to when it comes to the health aspect, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And so what do you do? What did you do when I'm sure you probably have an instance where you were around people who were on total opposites ends of the spectrum in terms of where you were trying to take your life? What do
Mhm.
you do in that instance where you have that person that you love, whether it be your friend or your spouse or your family member,
Mhm.
and they're on a totally on a different planet? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
I continue to motivate and inspire. I don't beat them up. I don't judge them. They get tired of me educating them. I'll tell you that. But I try to lead by example, right? And I'm not always perfect. I'm not sitting up here telling you I sit up here and just eat greens and protein 24/7 because I
Yeah.
don't. You gonna catch me eating a brownie and some cookies sometimes, but you also gonna catch me in that gym too. So it's a balanced effort. And I speak that like I'm very transparent and I'm very real when it comes to us just doing better. Like I'm the friend that, if you have a doctor's appointment and you hesitant on going, I'm gonna show up with you. I'm gonna help you get to that doctor's appointment. If you don't like coming to the gym, we're gonna start outside. I'm gonna meet you where you are. But at the end of the day, I feel like we have to start encouraging people and stop forcing people. So if you
Mm,
encourage people, you just be by their side and stop like this is what I'm doing, this is what you should be doing, this ain't good. No,
mhm,
because we
mhm.
don't always do stuff right ourselves. So you can't
Yeah,
force other people to do stuff. You just meet them where they are. And then you
yeah,
hold their hand along the way. And it's your prayer that you hope that they see your heart, and you hope that they want better for themselves. Because I could want for you all day long, but if you don't want for you, then what good is this?
Yeah, yeah. And I see that a lot in the team development space because you have people in business who are like, I want this team to work together. I want them to be friends together. And it's like you're forcing something that's not natural and organic. And I tend to stress creating space for things to happen. So, what are some tips that you can give people on creating that space and meeting people where they are?
As it relates to health, creating
Hmm.
space, I would just say is this: give them time, check in with them, give them different activities that they can do, show them ways, invite them over for a meal, a healthy meal, invite them into your world, invite them into your space. Let it be engaging, let it be fun, let it be interactive. And it's the hope that whatever you're doing, because you don't know if you're going to do it, if somebody else is going to do it, take them around other people, because sometimes, truth be told, people grow a deaf ear to people they love.
Hmm.
So with that being said, I would just say get them around other people, people that like, I have people in my life that is thicker than me, right? So they always like, Shavonne, you're the small one. They always throw that in my face. And I'd be like, stop body shaming, because what you may think small, I don't think the same. I take off my clothes and I look at something totally different in the mirror, right? So
Hmm.
when you take off your clothes, you look at something totally different. So how I feel, why I work out the way I work, I want to continue to work on that. But I was going to say, get them around individuals that is in the same weight range.
Hmm.
And because I would tell you that if you got a person that's 250 that's
Hmm.
not doing something, and 250 that is doing something, baby, that energy is going to be fire, because that 250 who's doing
Yeah.
something, he or she gonna inspire that 250 that's not. Oh, she 250. Oh, I could do that if she's doing that, and that's the energy that you're going to get. So you just got to get people in an environment of like-minded individuals.
So you just said something really, really powerful for me, and I just learned something in this because not only did you say, well, people grow a deaf ear to people that they love, and that resonates with I'm sure many of us because our parents will be telling us something, and we're like, no, 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 no. But one of our friends says it, and it's like, yeah, I should be doing that. But what you said about getting around people and perhaps in the same weight range, when you're around somebody that is a very, I don't want to say far difference, but their body goal might be a little far from where you are. It
Mm-hmm.
can seem a little bit daunting because you
Yeah.
feel like the journey is longer. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's actually pretty powerful. I never really thought about that
Mm-hmm.
in that way. So you have a brand underneath the for the people to be fit brand, you have a company that really focuses on health and wellness. Talk a little bit about that because you shared that with me and I thought it was pretty interesting. Talk a little bit about that.
So I have a wellness company. It is an e-commerce store where you go, and just as well as you go to shop on other stores, the W store, the T store, the A store. I don't want to say because this is YouTube, right?
Hmm.
But just as well as you shop at any other store. What I want people to be educated on is what they're shopping for, because for a very long time I was not. So when I picked up Clorox, Fibelosa, Dawn, Dove, Tide, Gain, I wasn't flipping a bottle around. My grandmother used it. It worked. I used it and I kept it moving. But when my mother got cancer, the game changed. And the game changed such as so that I went to Google asking Google, is this a cancerous product? Can this lead to cancer? And if Google tell me yes, I'm putting the product back. I'm putting the product down. And when I finally came across my wellness company has an app that you can check their products against. And I was just amazed and floored by how all of the products, no chemicals, no toxins, biodegradable products, highly concentrated. Like you can go there and literally get stuff for your skin, your nails, your hair, your house, your kids, your dogs, like whatever you want. Like it's a store with essential products that we run out of. So my company, for the people to be fit, wanted to partner with them because I was already doing fitness. And
Hmm.
it only makes sense because I know 80% of you doing better with your health is what you put on your skin and what you put in your body. 20% is the workout. So I wanted to be able to have a resource that I was connected with where they can get their vitamins, their protein shakes, their creatine, their recovery, their inflammation vitamins, whatever it may be that they need. I wanted to be a one-stop shop. And then on top of that, my wellness company too offers, weight loss program. I partner with them with something called the R3, which is reset, reintroduce real life to people. So many people get on diets and they like, let me diet, let me try, I'm on, I'm off. But what R3 teaches you is how to be steady, how to live in this lifestyle, even if you go out to eat, even if you go on vacation, even if it's your birthday, how to live in a lifestyle to be able to live a healthy life and making good choices. When I tell you that R3 has some amazing recipes, they on point. So for me, the recipes and the fitness, they go hand in hand as well as with my wellness store too. And then may I also say to you that the wellness store, when I do refer people to them, the wellness store pays you. So I am a full-time worker. I have about 4 businesses that I run, but I understand, because when we do get to the financial piece, I understand that even what I do right now, it does not provide for me. If I just had one job, it will not provide for me when I turn 65 and I want to stop working, right? So if I'm not making passive income, I'm doing myself a disservice. At this point in stage in anybody's life, you can't just have one pot. You have to have pot 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You need to have pots
Yeah,
at the end of
talk
the
about
day.
that. Yep, yep. So I want to stay on this concept of just lifestyle and health, because it's a really important point. One of the things that I think prevents people from moving to a better lifestyle or a better way of living is sometimes it can be like the trust factor. Change is going to be hard because people don't necessarily trust the next step. They don't trust what they can't see. Everybody's selling them something. Everybody's trying to, do something better than exactly. And so one of the things that drew me to you is your genuineness. But I know it goes deeper than that when you're talking about people who don't know you and who don't have an opportunity to sit with you, right? And so I know a lot of organizations are looking at having safety as a strategic priority. And so primarily because they want to build metrics around how they're not only keeping the people that work for them safe, but the people that they're serving safe. So from your perspective, how would you create a sense of trust and safety around people who might be interested in living a healthier lifestyle, but they're saying, this Shavonne has this new product, but I'm used to going to Target, so I don't know if I can trust. Like, how can people trust in the new approach that you're talking about?
That's a great question. And I would say, just as well, I look at opportunities like this. No, you don't know me from a can of worms, right? But when you go to a store and you just pick up something off of the shelf and you say, let me try. It starts with you just trying. You don't know what that product is going to do. You're just trying out something different. What my access to everyone is to try it, to call me out. So what I do love about my wellness company is that it's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Now, let me tell you this. You can't go to Target and pick up a thing of shampoo and use it completely and say, I don't like this. It did this to my hair, and then try to take it back and get your money. They're going to laugh at you. But with my wellness company, you can very well do that, right? You can say, this did not work out to the best that I wanted it to do. So therefore, I want to return it or get something different, and they will satisfy you. Then, of course, you don't want to abuse a policy or anything of that nature, but that's where they are as far as their customer service is concerned. As far as trust, I do several different things. One thing I do is I give you products, right? I give you small samples for you to try, because I want you to feel comfortable. Second, I reassure you that the company that I back them. Like, they don't pay me to back you, right? But I back them because I know what they have done. I know how they have changed my mother's A1C. I know how they clean my household. I know how they take the smell out of when my dogs are peeing everywhere in my house as well. I just know how well they are. So for me, I back them. So if the company don't do it, then you got my number, my personal number. I'll give you your money back. I'll buy it from you at the end of the day, because that's how much I trust them. I don't rock with Wally World and Target like that. If I buy something, I'm trying to get my money back, and they don't get my money back, I'm giving it away at the end of the day, right?
Right.
So I would just say, as far as trust is concerned, you have to start with a try. You have to try it out. You have to, just like you would try anything else out and you would give it a shot. I just say try it out and see, don't it make a change, won't it make a change in your life as well as your family life? Because at the end of the day, if you notice, I don't know if you know, but the number one killer nowadays is lung cancer, right?
Yep.
But yet we still okay with spraying bleach and spraying Comet and coughing. Don't you think that relates to your lungs? But we okay with that because what, grandma and them used to use it. But guess what? And like I tell people all the time, grandma and them didn't die of old age. They died of a complication. And it's only but time, like money compounds, so does health. It's only but time that you keep doing the same thing over and over and over before your body catches up. Right. And then that illness settles into your body because you didn't want to make a change. You didn't want to switch it up. If you put me around Common and Bleach right now, I'm going to gag just over and over and over again. Like I can't take it no more. Like
Yeah.
I haven't been around it in so long. I'm going on 3 years. I haven't been around it or whatever. So, and I always gag with it. I just move out the room, but not knowing how much damage I was doing to the inside of my body. So I would just say, just try it to build trust.
I really appreciate you. You hit every single point that I could think of. Thank you so much for that. So I want to talk about this behind you, right? Because you have this wonderful backdrop behind you. And so underneath, again, the For the People to Be Fit brand, not only is it your wellness company, but there's a financial aspect to your business. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna tell you, when I started For the People to Be Fit, like I said, it all came from an initiative. Honestly, just to let you know a little bit about that first before I get onto that brand. My family, I'm a mother of 8 children, and I don't say this publicly, but I'm saying this in relation to what I'm saying because they're all my kids, right? But I have to help you understand the difference. And understanding the difference, I birthed 4 children and I adopted 4 children. The 4 children that I adopted were not accustomed to the same lifestyle as my birth children were. And I'm only separating it for this fact only. So some of the children came with anxiety, depression, trauma, things that happen in foster care, things that I was not in control of. Only thing I can do was try to find remedies to make it better and make it work. In addition to that, I had family, I had friends that was suffering from high blood pressure, being overweight, anxiety, neighbors, like just, it was 7 people in my life that was dear to my heart. And I said, I'm going hard in this gym. I'm about to bring y'all with me. So I said to them, I said, I just need y'all for 3 months to stay locked in with me. And out of these 3 months, I will personally every Sunday, and I did it, cook them dinner. And we worked out 4 days a week. And I said, the only way that you fall out of this, if you fall out, not if I fall out, because I ain't going anywhere. And literally, when I tell you it transformed lives, I had one person in my family that was 280 pounds, literally lost 150 pounds. Had another person in my family that was maybe 170 pounds, lost another 70 pounds. Like she went all the way down. It was just absolutely amazing. So it was a yo-yo, but it was a jump start to them, right? It was a shift. Everybody didn't go like they did. Some people fell off, some people stayed on. But that's what birthed For the People to Be Fit. When I went away, I went to Africa. And it felt like everybody just stopped. I'm like, what y'all doing? Like, we started this, y'all can't finish it. So when I got back, I was like, I want to do something more. I want to reach out to more people. If I can help my family like this, I know there's other people that I can help in my community. So in my mind, I was like, how can I do this for the people? And I kept on saying For the People. And I was like, I want them to be fit. That's how the name came about. For the People to Be Fit. All right. So then what does For the People to Be Fit? I know it's just not about being physical. All right. So because working out has so much more. It's the emotional side, the mental, the spiritual, the financial, and the physical. So that's how the mission came about. So me personally, I was on the physical side, and then I wanted to know more about money because I took a loss. I took a $35,000 loss, and my husband took a $60,000 loss in his 401k. So I was like, at this point in my life, I wanted to understand money. So I am under For the People to Be Fit. I handle the physical and the financial side. So this is what birthed Xperia Financial Group, someone who I partner with, and I branched off and have my own company. So I'm partnering underneath them as SB Financial Literacy. So with that being said, being a partner of them has just opened my eyes up to so much, right? I had no clue how money worked in the beginning, how it grew. I just knew I needed to save. And I thought saving in a bank was the best to be all. No. I thought saving in my 401k was the best to be all. No. What I understood as I've gotten older, I'm in my 40s now when this took place, is that money works in so many different forms. It's what you do with the money to make the money work for you. And I say to myself over and over, how come my grandmother didn't know this? My mother didn't know this. My sisters didn't know this. So somebody can teach me this. My school didn't know this. My college didn't know this. Why is it that I'm 40 years old understanding this right now? And it's so many people in our community, in my neighborhood, that still don't have a clue. People think when they have a financial advisor that, oh, my financial advisor is going to advise me. No, there's two different roles that financial advisors can play versus people who's putting you in position to be actually have the product. Financial advisors will say, hey, invest in this, invest in that, invest in this. But it's everybody plays a different role. So you have to understand what you have is most important. And what I enjoy about working at Xperia and what I do is the education piece. Because when I was a client first, because I was a client, I wanted to get my orders, my affairs in order first before I went to go try to help anybody else. And now that I have, I'm on the pathway of helping a lot of people do better so that we don't have to continue with this same roadmap, the same path that we went on. So for me, Xperia Financial Group it's just been nothing but a blessing. Nothing but a blessing.
Thank you for circling back to that. And I'm actually glad that you circle back to how For the People to Be Fit came about, because one of the things that I don't think that we do a good job of when we are enlightened is reaching back to our family and really pulling them along. And you really described a situation where everybody watching this we often look at everybody out there. I need to get 100,000 followers, 100 followers, or 100 people to buy this. And it's like, if you got something good, if you have something good, start with the people that you love.
Yes.
With that being said, what would be one of the challenges that you faced in your journey of getting started with this new phase of your business?
So, great question. I just spoke about this too. So people believing, people wanting to know, people making time to get the information, to sit down. So many people are so reactive. They're not proactive to situations. I was not proactive to sitting down with someone and actually understanding money in my younger days, 20 years old, right? Because that's where I think you should start, when I'm young. But I wasn't proactive with that. I was reactive because of a situation that took place. So some of the challenges that I consistently face is just, I'm not going to even say people wanting to support, because it's not about supporting me. It's about them wanting information and wanting to do better for themselves. And if I could drive home anything, I'm not even looking at the people that's my age, to be honest with you. I'm looking at the people that's underneath them. I'm looking at our children, period. Because those are the people who are going to make a difference in the world. Those are the people who money is going to compound the longest. Now, granted, I love helping people in retirement who left a job, who left a 401k, because I can educate them right now because they got a little bit of money. Now is what they do with the money that makes sense. But if I can get hold of these parents that have these children, for them to make better decisions, or for them to invest in their children as it relates to money. I just seen a post, but I'm a reenact the post. Mm-hmm. And it indicated that African Americans pretty much spend money on handbags, fragrance, Mercedes-Benz, and clothing, right? We're the number one supporter of those things. We got to look good, but we don't have money in the bank. So for me, my goal is to change that mindset, to put people in front of opportunity. So when their children become the next doctor, the lawyer, they can open up their own firm because your parent made a good decision for you. And then you listen to your parent and you follow suit. So we can get hold of the parents and start listening to want to pour back into their kids. Yes. We'll be one step forward.
Yes, I'm so glad that you said that, because that's often the challenge. I remember when I was mentoring this young man, and he really he was the troublemaker of the group. And I don't know why, I'm just always drawn to the troublemaker, because I'm like, I was a little bit of a troublemaker when I was young. So And, I broke through the shell, but then I realized that our relationship became strained as, when I found out, that his relationship with his mom was a little strained because she was on drugs, and we ended up losing touch because of that. And there were so many different things going on. And I couldn't get in contact with them again. And so it's hard sometimes to penetrate the mind of the youth when they are in these environments that aren't healthy. And
Mhm.
so how have you found a way, or found in your pursuit from a financial perspective, how have you pierced that veil to really, get to the youth when they're in troubling environments that aren't necessarily conducive for their growth?
You know what? I'm so happy you said that, and you said that on here, because I am steadily looking for opportunities. I'm always reaching out to volunteer my services to be able to get in front. A lot of people, I have my trainer. He actually, he deals with a lot of troubled youth, and he was like, "Nah, Shavonne, these ain't the type of people you want to be around." I'm like, "How you gonna tell me who I want to be around? These are the people I want to be around." But anyway, that's a sidebar. But anyway, for me, that's a goal of mine, because so many people don't want to reach back and get into that space when it comes to the troubled youth. That's just like if I took it back to foster care. So many people don't want to deal with teenagers. They only want to deal with the babies. But the teenagers are the ones that need the help. But because the teenagers, specifically in the United States of America, and how I know, because I have international children and I also have US children, US children are a little bit more rebellious. They're a little bit more defensive, right? You have international kids that, yes, yes, ma'am, I'll do, I can. Like they more willing. It's just a total different dynamic. But at the same time, you have to have people who are willing to go through those ups and downs with those children, because you're trying to break through with kids. With my children specifically, they was trying to test to see if I really loved them, right? To see if I was going to put them out when they did bad, because that's all that kept happening to them. They kept getting put out every time something happened. They had to go from home to home. No, you're going to deal with the consequences in this household. You
Yeah.
do something bad, I'm not shipping you back off. That's not what we do. Am I shipping my own kids back off? So no,
Mhm.
you can figure it out and look what punishment looks like, because this is what love looks like, right? So at the end of the day, it's about getting into the space where these children are and being able to relate to them. Now, every child ain't gonna be ready for you, because some of these kids out here just like they ruthless, right? They just
Mhm.
I don't care type energy because of the hurt that they had. So I meet them where they are. Like if I'm on a train or whatever, I won't be like, stop all that cussing. Stop. I'm not your mother. I'm gonna be like, you are so handsome. You are so beautiful. I know you have different other words than that, different words than that. All these adults around you. Like I would say something like that. I will humble myself all the way down to reach them. I'm not going to shoot. I'm not going to go out at them like I'm their parent or anything of that nature. But I want them to receive me. So in order for them to receive me, I got to meet them where they are.
Wow. You were just dropping some gems, because you said humbling yourself all the way down in order to reach them, and you also talked about being able to go through those tough times so that people really see what love looks like. And a lot of times, um, just in our communities, we don't see that, and that's why you do have that defense mechanism that comes up. How have you, just circling back to this, how have you broken down that wall of defense when you're trying to educate people about their finances? Because that's a sensitive subject. And like I mentioned earlier, people always taken advantage of, you have all these people trying to get at their money. How have you really broken down that veil and shown that love and connected with people through your financial services?
So as far as when I do a presentation, and my presentation is interactive. So I ask a lot of questions, and it's interactive to the point, do you understand this? Can you tell me what you know about this? Can you tell me how you get your FIN number? Do you know what your FIN number is used for? That's your financial independent number, right? So this is a little portion of my segment that I do, but I'm very interactive with individuals. So yes, a lot of people, I start out with a free green sheet. That is me giving you a financial picture of what your future looks like. And it's nothing on there that PII related. It's just your name, birthday, and things of that nature. If you want to give it to me, you give it to me. But some people stop me right there, like, what you need that for? And
Hmm.
I have to say to them, well, in order for me to make sure that I provide you with some good solutions and some great solutions, I need to be able to have an understanding of where you currently are. And if I
Mhm.
have an understanding of where you currently are, I can tell you which direction, is best suited for you. But if you don't want to provide that, I'll work around it. And I work around it at the end of the day. I'll just get into my presentation and I'll start asking them questions. And if they can't answer the questions, which I know because I couldn't answer the questions, I was guessing when it was my turn, when I was a client, then that's my time to educate them. When you start pouring education into people and you provide them with resources where they can go find the information at and fact check you, they
Mhm.
start to like lean in a little bit more. They start to
Yeah.
get a little bit more, interested in what you have to say because I'm not looking to sell you something. I'm looking to
Mhm.
provide you something. And that's the difference.
What's one thing that you think that we need to educate our families and our community on that you can just talk a little bit about, give a snippet on right now?
Okay. TFRA, tax.
Yes, yes.
So that's a tax-free retirement account. And the difference between that is underneath an umbrella, an insurance umbrella, a tax code, which is 7702E. You can go to the IRS.gov and you can find this information there. However, it speaks about the importance of how you can have a fixed account, right? So 401ks, 403bs, Roth, some of them, ours, those products, Bitcoin, crypto, real estate, those products are considered to be on with a variable market, meaning when the markets are doing well, you're going to get a nice return. But when the markets drop, then you may be a little bit upset and there's nothing you can really do about it, right? But with a TFRA, you can rest assured you don't lose money. It's a 0% ground floor. These laws was written for the wealthy people to stay wealthy. Then you also have the opportunity to allow your money to grow from 6 to 13% on the index, right? So at any point in time, if the markets are doing well, your money is indexing great. So that's on compound interest. And the difference between compound interest and you just leaving money in the bank is something called the rule of 72. So the rule of 72 says that whatever interest that the bank is giving you, you divide it by 72. So we say 1%, you put 20,000 in the bank, 1% divided by 72 is going to take that 20,000 72 years to get to $40,000 in essence. But the rule of compound and say, my money is going to grow every 5 to 7 years. And just imagine how compounding works. I'm going to use a small number. $100 you set aside in a compounded vehicle that's giving you 10%. First year, you get $110. Second year, you get $11 added to that 110. Now you have in 2 years, $21. You put $100 in the bank and let me know how many pennies you get on that $100, right? So the rule of compounding is very important, especially when you have money. The third benefit is that when you have a TFRA, it has living benefits. So many people walk around here insuring cars, phones, houses, dental insurance, so many things. But what happens when you get sick? Because a lot of complications happen when we actually get sick and we have to sit in a hospital and we are depending on disability. Long term runs out and we don't have anything. This is why bankruptcy happens. This is why foreclosure happens. Health is the major cause for people losing out on a lot of things, right? So why aren't you protecting your money? So you have living benefits that pull from a death benefit that you will be able to utilize while you're living. Nursing home, chronic, critical, terminal, all those things that happen to people because old age don't really happen to a lot of people. All those
Mhm.
other things do. And then the fourth thing is everything that you put into it is tax free. So all the gains, all the interest, all tax free. So you mean to tell me if I was 16 years old and I was just putting $50 in this account or $100 in this account on a monthly basis, Lord knows I'd be a millionaire right now. Truth be told, 16. However, on top of that, if I wanted to borrow my money, I could have borrowed my money and not have to pay it back. Well, try that in a 401k. You gonna have to
Yeah.
pay your money back, right? And you have to sometimes
Mhm.
pay for extras. You better check how old you are as well. So things like that, and like people utilize. I in my with my employer, I had somebody in my job say, "Well, no, I use my 401k for investments. I pull it out, I pay," and I started doing that too because I thought that was a good move. Baby, that's not a good move. This is a good move, right? You put your money into a TFRA, you let it stack up. If you want to go use your money, you go use your money. If you make a profit on your money, you put your money back in the TFRA, let it continue to compound, and you keep flipping those investments. That's a good move. And I wasn't informed that. So that's just to give you a little snippet of what a TFRA does and what it can do for you. And this is why you should learn a lot more about it.
Oh, wow. So no, thank you. I was waiting for you to talk about that because that blew my mind. I was very intrigued by it. So one of the things I find that uh, gets people flustered, especially when you start to talk about money, is there's so much out there. There's so
Mhm.
many different types of retirement accounts. There's so many different types of investment strategies. Everybody knows how to invest when things are going up. People don't know about investing in things when things are going down. People don't know about risk management, risk mitigation, and it's so many different topics. How do you simplify that discussions for your clients on the finance side?
To be honest with you, to simplify a discussion like that, we flip to Google. We go right to Google. We go do our own research. I pull it up right then and there. Because in some conversations, like I'm not going to tell you I am the know-it-all. I am not the know-it-all. You would know that from the very beginning. I am the one who will research and I will fact check you like I want you to fact check me, right? So I had a guy that, stated about a Virginia law that I never heard of. And I was like, oh, pause for a moment. Let me pull that up. No, you read that wrong, sir. Let me pull it up and tell you exactly what it does say. Because what I'm reading, I didn't say it like that, but
Yeah.
I was just like, this is what it's saying. So tell me your understanding of it, in essence. Tell me your understanding of it because I'm not reading the exact same thing. So I want to make sure that we're on the same page. Like I want to meet you where you are. So when it comes to risk management and people putting their hands up and putting their walls up, I just say we approach it together, right? Because anything that you do, there could be risk in anything that you do, right? But what I would
Mhm,
say, this is the most for me, because I have my money here.
mhm,
This is a safety net for me. I have from when the interest rates go down, 1980s to the Great Depression, right? 1930s. I can see the worst and the worst of the worst. In the event I invest my money, because what I do is show you hypotheticals. I know what the past is, but I can also tell you what the past did, how the future is predicted, right? So if all markets work well, and unless these markets go back to bad interest rate here, like 1980s or 1930s, Great Depression, this is the worst, and this is the worst of the worst that you would get.
mhm,
But if that doesn't happen to us, and we over here, we winning. I'm
mhm,
going to show you what the losses look like. I'm not going to show you all the good. I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the in the between. And you make a decision because at the end of the day, it's going to be a decision that you have to make because I don't know what the future holds. I can die, God forbid, in 10 years and the market could crash and that could be your money or whatever. And you won't be at the Great Depression, right?
mhm.
You can't say, oh, Shavonne, come back out the dead, out the grave and come get my money. No, I told you right here. But if the markets do well, you can be like, that girl set me up for goodness. It
Mhm.
would be your choice.
Yeah, no, and it's so many things I love about what you said because I want to touch on the market because in a second, but I want to go back to what you said about your willingness to stop, pause, and research with someone because it's not always going to be a simple answer. You're not
Mhm.
always going to be able to simplify. It may take a little bit of time. It may take a little bit of tough conversations for you to sit down and say, all right, what are your goals? Okay, this is what this means. Um,
Right.
they go do their research, they come back and they try to prove you wrong and wag their finger, and you're like, okay, well, look, let me sit down because as you said, I'm not, I don't know everything. And it takes a lot of honesty for people to admit that because some people will sell you into believing that they know everything and they will sell you a lie.
Mhm.
So I am glad that you talked about your humility in that instance because I don't see that in with a lot of people because their motivation is just to sell versus
Mhm.
educating. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Um, but you mentioned the market and how there might be fluctuations that if you invest in the vehicle that you just talked about, you could be protected against. There have been a lot of rumblings around we're about to get ready to go into a recession. People, stuff online. I see the videos we're going into a recession. What would be your recommendation for someone coming to you saying, well, hey, we're about to go into a recession. Why should I put my money in here versus, the sexy thing is real estate. Everybody is, oh, I want real estate. I mean, real estate is always going to go up. So what would be your recommendation there?
Remind me to come back to real estate. As it relates to the markets and putting your money, if you have your money only invested in a 401k or a Roth or something like you are already at risk at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
So and for you to move your money over to any of the products that I'm speaking about, your risk is minimized. Why is your risk minimized? Because I'm speaking about years, 12 years straight running zeros, right? For you to get the minimum amount, like the Great Depression amount. We talking about a recession or something of that nature that may happen and last maybe 2-4 years or whatever the case may be, sometimes 7. I don't know. It just depends. I don't know what luck of the draw we are in. But at the end of the day, it doesn't last forever. We're going to always come recoup, right? We're going to always come back out. So what I'm speaking about is that when to experience the lows, and what I'm sharing is if the market is going like that consistently.
Yeah.
And if it's not going like that consistently, it's best for you to always diversify your portfolios. It is so helpful to make sure that you do not have all your money tied up into one bucket. That is very important. And I wanted to go back on real estate. Yes, a lot of people, including myself, think real estate, real estate, real estate. When the market crash, that's not going to be the go-to, right? When the market, because it's going to crash eventually, right? Eventually, it's going to do the exact same thing it did a while ago. I'm not forecasting it, like I don't want it to, but reality is it will, because of how this world is moving forward.
Yeah.
However, I would say to individuals who always think real estate, like, of course, you want to buy when low, and when a market is doing better, sell when high. Of course, that's just prime. But at the end of the day, when I think about real estate, I think about this: it's work. It's work on all fronts. And I think I shared this with you. It's work on all fronts as it relates to finding people, flipping houses, paying mortgages, paying taxes. It's work. So if you're not built for that work, why not allow your money to work for you? And this is what I came to understand. I have property. And if I sold my property, which I plan on doing one day when the market gets right, I'm gonna put my money into one of these investment vehicles. Why? Because I can tell you that my apartment building is not going to yield me the same amount of money that this investment vehicle will. And it's still a greater chance on this apartment building, because if I don't have tenants in here, guess who paid the mortgage? I do. But over here, it's a what? 10% chance that the markets may crash and stay like that for 12 years. And I have a greater chance that my money will explode. And if it does go worse, right, I still got money over here, because in this product right here is an insurance product. So guess what happens? I got a death benefit associated with it that's higher than the money that I put in it. So I'm winning no matter what. So if I pass away, my family gets all of that. If I pass away with this real estate, my family get a nice bill. So, and if they don't pay that bill, then guess what? That property's gonna go to the state, and that's a waste of our time. So at the end of the day, my thought process is changing. Like at the end of the day, I like the fact of owning things, right? It's nothing wrong with owning things, but how I'm investing and moving forward, I want to invest more, and I don't want to have so much risk with all of my ownership, in essence.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad you touched on that, because like I said, when I talk to people about different strategies, some people scream real estate, some people, and then even within real estate, it's, oh, don't buy and hold. You should flip. Don't flip. You should, be a bird dogger or a wholesaler. I mean, they got all these different
Answers.
and it's hard for people to focus. And that's one
Yeah.
of the things that I stress is focus, because your focus becomes your future. Where you put your attention really
Yes.
is what's going to develop in your life. But because we have so many options, people can't focus their attention. So from from your perspective in the finance world, where would you say people should focus first before they start building on all of the additional things?
Your health. So I would say they should focus on their health, because I feel like all these other things that I just spoke about, if you're not healthy, then what does it matter? You're gonna be working to let somebody else enjoy it. So I say for me, it's always about my health first. And after my health, my next focus will be for me to look for opportunities where I can actually have low cost, low overhead, and high gains. That's me. So I'm looking for opportunities such as that. And don't get me wrong, like, even though I'm choosing to invest, I'm also choosing to think outside the box. Like some things that people don't realize is that, because I've been a daycare owner, I've been a truck owner, I've been I'm a apartment builder, I've been several owners, and I know what that work looked like. As a entrepreneur, I say entrepreneur. I would say that it is the challenge comes if you're not actually doing the work yourself. Like if I was a hairstylist and I was actually in there doing hair myself, or whatever the case may be, the challenge comes finding people. So everybody is not going to be a workhorse like you. So if you, and what I've learned, and my story is not going to be the same story as everybody else, and I'm okay with that. But in Shavonne Bowman's experience, I want to do things that I don't have to rely on people. I want to do things that's going to generate income when I'm asleep and continue to provide legacy year after year. So those things, just giving ideas, is like owning ATM machines or owning vending machines or doing things at low cost where you can have a car wash. Just so many different things that you can do where you don't actually necessarily have to have people working for you. You just got to operate, the water bill or the equipment or whatever is economical for you, and go in that direction. That's where I'm at now. I'm not really looking for a manpower. And until I get my nonprofit, that's when I need the manpower.
Yeah, it's like you were reading my mind because I wanted to start to talk about your journey of developing the team because you, as you said, you're running 4 businesses, right? And so you obviously need people in certain areas to help you while you're doing all of these other things. I remember even when I bought my first property, I was like, I forget that I'm gonna go in and I'll paint the property. So I was painting, right? And it was days. After that, I said, never doing that again.
Yeah.
When I started to build a team, it allowed me to really accelerate building my portfolio. But as you mentioned, there's a challenge when you start incorporating people into your business because they may not necessarily work as hard as you. They may not necessarily have the same level of detail or to attention that you have. So as you've developed your teams across your businesses, what's one of the first things that you do when you're looking for someone to add to your team?
That is a great question because I'll be honest with you, and this is just me being transparent, right?
Mhm.
I spoke to you about me from the entrepreneur side, as it relates to me having people work for me. They don't work like I work, can't get them to show up.
Mhm.
From the uh, from the wellness side with my wellness company and from experience side, that's a challenge for me. It's a challenge for me because I am a self-starter. I'm a go-getter by heart. Like at the end of the day, I will produce. I will produce. There's nothing wrong with me having team members to come with me, but what I don't do, and I don't have a passion for, I don't micromanage, right? So what I search for and what I look for are leaders, people who want to lead other people. Because when you find people that just want to get in it just to make some money or get in it just to sell something or do something, they don't last. And you find yourself doing more work because you're trying to help them, grow them, and it's not appreciated at the end of
Mhm.
the day. It's just like the people with my own company that I'm trying to convince to come to work or whatever. So for me and where I am now at this stage in my life, I look for leaders. When I call people up, I'm looking for leaders to grow. Here's a plug. Any woman that is looking at this, any women that is looking at this particular YouTube, I am looking for leaders to grow with, specifically women leaders, right? In my community, because women leaders specialize in, they shop for their family. They also cook for their family. Like they do these different things. And I say that I'm not looking for men. On my wellness side, I'm looking for a lot of women leaders. On my financial side, I'm looking for both. So I have dual roles that I play. So I just specifically look for people who want to help other people grow, elevate, and empower other people to do well and to do better. That's all I'm looking for, because at the end of the day, I know I don't have to hold your hand. I know that you're going to want it just as much as it's my hope that you're going to want it just as much as me. And it's my hope that I can find people who can come in and also help me elevate as I help them elevate.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point because and finding leaders, I think, is an amazing solution to some of the challenges that we just talked about because it really does prevent a lot of the hand holding and the micromanaging and have, because I remember, like, as I said, with real estate, I would have to at some point be like, You need to pay attention to the caulking on the in the corner right there. Details are
Right.
important.
Right.
You need to make sure that the door frame is right. And they would be like, but I put the door up. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's not how it's done. But when you develop, and I found that it took time though,
Mhm.
because sometimes people aren't used to your style, right? Because when you have a vision of how you think that the company that for the direction of your company and your business, but people also have their own vision that they're working with. And
Mhm.
so uh for you, how have you inspired people to achieve their vision while still seeing your vision?
Mhm. You asked some really, really good questions. Just gonna let you know that. So, as it relates to people seeing my vision as they achieve their own, um, it's the same thing. Like I currently I meet people where they are. I don't force people. At the end of the day, I show them. I like at the end, I think leaders should always lead what you want your team to do. And at the end of the day, I am there when you call when you call me, when I pick up the phone and I call you, if you answer, I know that we are on the same playing field, right?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, if you have a question, if I don't know the answer to it, I'm researching and I'm finding it. I'm not just leading you in business. I want to be a leader in life. Like if it regardless of what it may be, it could be parent, parental, it could be marriage, it could be whatever. I want to be able to be a supportive system in your life, period. So you can always continue to lead. And at the end of the day, that energy is transferable, right? I could be giving you something and you could be giving me something. But as far as seeing my vision, I feel like I have to continue to do my part regardless. That's the same as me eating. When I go to the table and I'm eating at the restaurant and I want my friends that's not eating so well, maybe Shavonne, you pick something different. See if you can inspire them by your choices.
Mhm.
Same thing as relates to finances. Like at the end of the day, I would tell my friends what I'm investing in, what I am doing, how the success rate is coming. I don't keep information to myself. You see what I'm doing. Hopefully you want to follow suit and you want to get on the same bandwagon. But as far as my vision is concerned, like I just expose people. I expose people to what I do. I don't keep anything to myself. And when they see something, and I listen too, right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of people just don't take the time to listen. Everything that Shavonne wants to do doesn't mean it's always the right way. But if I'll be open and be open-minded to other opportunities and other people's vision, then it's not so that I'm gonna be persuaded, but I can be, encouraged to maybe tweak something here, tweak something there to make it better for everybody. So at the end of the day, we are a team and we're trying to work together. So that's how I think that we can meet hand in hand with my vision and your vision.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it goes back to what I said earlier because you really are a living example of your brand and of your vision for the people to be fit. And so, leading by example and being the vision that people, being a living example of your vision is really a good way of allowing people to see their vision through you. Now,
Mhm.
as we know, nothing is always going to be perfect, especially when you have a team. They're going to be ebbs and flows, ups and downs. We're all people that have personal issues, that have professional issues, whether it be the market going a different way or somebody having a loss in their family. Um, how do you help your teams m- maintain their resilience through the ups and downs of life as they come? Because things will come. So how do
Mhm.
you help them navigate through that?
First, I'm empathetic. I can relate because it happens to me too, right? We are not exempt from life. We're not exempt from tragedy. But at the end of the day, I always first I show up. So showing up for them, meaning I'm there to listen to them, and I'm there to help encourage them to get back on their feet. If it's something that's relatable to my life and something that I've experienced with, I always lead with my story, and I understand. That's me. If I understand, I understand. If I don't understand, I can understand where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, I only can offer, empathy to you. And then when the time is right for you to circle back around, I want to be there for you. As far as encouraging them, I check in with them. I make sure that I show up if it's something death related, hospital related, or whatever the case may be. I show up. I'm a person first. At the end of the day, this is just business. This is just an opportunity for us to grow. I'm a human first before anything, right? So you're gonna catch me being my human self if
Hmm.
something goes wrong with you on my team, and if you're a part of my team. And then I know that people respond to people who care for them genuinely. not nothing that's fake. And they know that because I'm not always just calling you about something. I'm calling you to kick the bobo. I'm calling you to go out, eat, whatever the case may be. It's not always business. It's relational as well.
Thank you so much for that. Empathy. I think that's a excellent answer for that. And then mindset. So in team development, I focus on three different areas, and you actually touched on two. I focus on creative purpose, which is, others may call vision or passion. I touch on resilience, and I touch on mindset and habits. Mindset and habits is extremely crucial because people's mindset obviously dictates their habits, and our habits sometimes ebb and flow, especially when we don't exercise that muscle. And we have cycles, right? We have creative cycles where sometimes we want to do work, sometimes we don't. I wake up in the morning, that's my best time for productivity. Now, next day, it's 12 a.m. Like, how do you develop the mindset and the habits and of your teams across your businesses so that people are as productive as they can be?
Developing the mindset, but let me tell you first about me. So I've been told that I have adult ADD.
You have professional ADD. You are.
So here's a plug. Wellness Company gives me something called Focus AP. It's a vitamin that helps me stay focused and to help me stay centered, right? But as it relates to the mindset of my team, I think that comes in time. It doesn't come overnight. It comes in day by day. It comes in check-ins. It comes in attending meetings. It comes in like just follow-ups. It comes in time. So mindset to me is that I can't make you do something, right? I can only encourage you. I can only talk to you. I can only inspire you. It's what you want to do. I can only show you by example. I can only tell you that this is the effect if you go that way. But if you go this way, this can happen. I can only help you start thinking a little bit differently. But it's up to you to lock in. When I say to you, that is the most challenging part as a leader, I say that because I want everybody on my team to have the mindset of let's go, let's get it, let's grind, let's hustle. But everybody's life is not my life. And everybody's story is not my story. I have no idea what everybody is going through. Close friends, family, whomever it may be. At the end of the day, only thing I can do is keep showing up. If I keep showing up, hopefully you will see if I'm not giving up, you will see that it's real, right? And if you see that it's real, you will want to be attached to something that's real and nothing that's here today and gone tomorrow. So
You are powerful. I love that. I love that. And so I wanna land the plane, but I want to end it with something a little more fun because, we talked about Shavonne, the mother. We talked about Shavonne, the multi-business owner. We talked about Shavonne, the daughter and the granddaughter, and what she saw when she was growing up. But how does Shavonne just decompress after all of the stuff that you are managing? How do you just relax and tap into you?
oh, that has been the story of my life.
You
For a
know?
very long time, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to relax. Only thing I knew was how to make it happen, grind. I mean, like you said, like I was inspired by your story too, to be honest with you. And similar stories, like I raised on 58th Street Southeast, I wasn't raised in the best of the neighborhood, a lot of things that happened in my life, drug related, not from me, but my environment that I was surrounded around, that I was brought up by. And I didn't want to become a victim to that. I didn't want to become a victim to alcoholism, being a drug addict, smoking. I didn't want to become a victim to any of that. No discount to anybody, but me personally, I saw too much stuff. I saw death in front of me. I just saw too much stuff growing up. So for me, I never knew how to shut down. I never knew how to stop because I always wanted more. Because what my parents didn't have, my cousins didn't have, my grandmothers didn't have, I wanted to be able to have more. And I knew there's a way to get more. And it still is because I haven't got everything that I want. And even when I get it, I want more, period. That's just that's how life works, right? But I had to realize that going that hard the way I was going, It's either Shavonne gonna be shut down or Shavonne gonna be shut out. So I literally was encouraged to pick up a book this called 10x your life, 10x by 2x, something like that. Or 10x, I can't remember it. Sorry, right now I just can't think of it, but it's 10x times 2, which is your life. And it was speaking about the importance of how when you go so hard and you do so much, that you have to have days where you have recovery days.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel the best in the last month. I finished that book last month. I was supposed to be reading it for a very long time, but I finally got around to reading the whole book. And when I really settled into understanding that book, I can tell you this last month, I'm 45, I'll be 46 in December, has been it has been an amazing time for me. And when I say that to say this, the book taught me how to have 3 focus days, 2 rebound days, and 2 recovery days in a week. Just try it. And I was a go, go, go every day. Go, 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 go. That don't always work. So and it was very uncomfortable for my family. Why was it uncomfortable? Because you pick up the phone and call Shavonne, she answers immediately on first ring. No matter who it is, I'm answering the first call. So they're used to me being available to them. It was very uncomfortable. I had to literally send out a text, and you thought I was saying I was dead. I had to send out a text to ask my family to respect my wishes so I can get my well-being together. Meaning that I wanted you all to respect when I have focus days, I'm locked in 100%. Don't interrupt me. Don't ask me to do anything. If it's an emergency, I'll step out of that locked in, right? But everything y'all ask me is not emergency. Some things you can do on your own. My rebound days are for me to catch up on things that I have been able to do for myself. If I want to go on Amazon, I want to shop, like it just center focus me. If I need to help my family, I can help my family on my rebound days. My recovery days is whatever I want. It's for learning. It's for massages. It's for recovery. It's for mindset. It's for walking the park. It's for walking my dogs. It's for whatever it is that I want to do. Don't ask me. If I want to do it for you, I'll do it for you. But that's my recovery day. So, and I had to realize, and I always speak, not always, not spas, massages, or whatever, but to shut down, and not even talk to nobody, like that is a challenge for me. It's a challenge for me because I'm not accustomed to it, but I had to figure out a way. And I would tell you, in this last month, I have gotten so much done, so much done by me just taking that thought process with that book, putting it into perspective and trying it out. And we go back to the trying, right? We don't know what will work for you unless you try it.
Wow. And that is an amazing way to land a plane. And so I'll ask you my final question. What do you want people to take away from this conversation that we had? What's the one thing that you want people to take away from the conversation?
Be open-minded. Be open-minded about opportunity. Be open-minded about your life. Be open-minded about your health. Be open-minded about next steps and elevation. Be open-minded.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Shavonne Bowman. Shavonne, how can people connect with you? I see it on the screen, but tell us how we can connect with you, how you would prefer.
Absolutely, Donnie. I appreciate this. So, Donnie, I have to plug one thing, right? Because I didn't get to plug it earlier.
Plug it.
So I want to plug that Shavonne Bowman is a wellness influencer for wealth and health, is an influencer for wealth and health. And under that umbrella is For the People to Be Fit, SB Financial Literacy. So I'm rebranding. Originally, For the People to Be Fit had its own name. My rebrand will come out on my birthday, December the 2nd. So I'm super excited. So, but if you follow at 4, that's the number 4, the people, the number 2, the initial B, and the word fit, is going to merge over to Shavonne Bowman. You're in the right place, right? So follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And please go visit my website at www.forthepeopletobefit.com, as well as www.sb-financialliteracy.com. You can also call me at 240-563-9272 to talk to me and to set an appointment. I look forward to connecting, and I do thank you so much, Donnie, for this opportunity to be on your show. And I know that it's going to be a blast because you're going to spread it out to everybody you know.
Oh, yes.
They all going to call me.
Thank you so much.